I'm really delighted that our Chinese journalist friends have joined, and I really appreciate your question. And I would go back directly to the press conference in which President Biden spoke explicitly to this. And if you look at President Biden's comments, he explicitly said this summit was not all about China. This summit, as Dr. Campbell outlined as well, this was about our affirmative agenda, about our shared interests and values with two of our closest treaty allies in the world, the Republic of Korea and Japan. That would be point one. Point two, our leaders outlined an incredibly broad-based agenda on everything from security to economic and technology cooperation to cooperation on health, the environment, and people-to-people ties, and a broad range of other issues. And point three, as Dr. Campbell indicated, and as President Biden himself said, although this summit was about, again, our shared interests and values and taking advantage of the tremendous progress as well in rapprochement between Seoul and Tokyo, one cannot deny the strategic environment in which we exist and operate. So, of course, it was natural that we would discuss some of the concerns and issues related to actions carried out by the PRC that are of significant concern to our three countries and to many others around the region and around the world. But again, the focus of the summit was on our interests and values and taking advantage of this really historic step that we have for our three countries.
Yeah. So I like the way that Dan expressed this, and we very much appreciate you being on the call today. I will say that there are a few steps that have taken place that frankly have surprised some Asian interlocutors and even some in the United States. I think the determination of President Xi in China to so firmly back Russia in its invasion of Ukraine and to provide private support, step up its technology and other engagements with Russia quietly so as not to attract attention has caused concern. And I think there is worry that some will see this as a precedent for other actions. And I think it's undeniable that this invasion has been deeply destabilizing, deeply concerning to not only the people of Ukraine, but in the surrounding region. And it's done terrible things for food prices and inflation more generally. And I think, we try to be careful here, but those steps have been unnerving to Northeast Asian countries. And I do believe that this anxiety has provoked a desire for countries who are more like-minded to make sure that we are working together constructively. But at the same time, there's a dynamic and a dynamism to, first of all, the relationship between Japan and South Korea that have nothing to do with China, that owe to long-standing grievances and difficulties. And so to overcome them is a remarkable feat and really has very little to do with China.